So I am in Lynmouth and heading my way up the river valley. As you can see, the river is well full, and so I am hopeful I'm going to get some nice shots today. Plenty of scope for some really nice waterfall type stuff, cascades, this sort of thing. The light is just right, so you've got this sort of milky sky, and that's what I prefer to shoot in when it comes to waterfalls, rather than real strong harsh sunlight. So it reduces all the specular highlights, and I'm traveling light-ish, so I have with me my D300 and my Z7ii. I have discarded the D300's really heavy lenses, the 17 to 55 millimeter f2.8 and the 80 to 200, because I'm going to give the very, very lightweight kit lens 18 to 135 millimeter f3.5 to 5.6. I'm going to give that a go, and we're going to see what that's capable of doing. So if you fancy seeing what it is I can do with these two cameras on a trip up the river lid, then stay with me for the next 10 minutes or so.
Cycle of ages gone, I have sustained you. Without me, all is dust. Through fire and fury of molten rock, to the solid emptiness of quiet stone, I have prevailed.
So we've got quite a nice little scene here, and I'm literally just 200 or 300 yards from the centre of Lynmouth, and there is a little, a very short path down to this part of the river, and I'm looking upstream, as you do for cascades and waterfalls, and if I can, I will show you what I'm seeing through the lens of the Z7ii here. And there's a rock just in the foreground. I will try and point it out. Here, there's a rock in the foreground. I switch you round for a moment. This will be better. Yeah, so this rock here, I'm zoomed in at about 105 millimeters, and I'll be able to set this up on the D300 as well. And so shooting towards the cascades above that rock, and because I've zoomed in quite a bit, even on what am I on? Even on f11, I'm going to have to focus stack this. So in fact, I'm at about 100, I'd say I'm probably about 115 millimeters. So the more zoomed in you are, the more likely it is that you're going to need to focus stack if you've got something reasonably close in your foreground, and that's definitely the case here. So I'm just going to turn you back round, and I'll show you how I'm setting up this shot. Okay, so bugs on my camera here. So firstly, I'm going to have to take off. I want to shoot this with a polarizer, and so I've got my adapter ring on here, and this is going to let me put my magnetic circular polarizer on here, but it's also going to allow me to use some ND filters. But we'll start with the polarizer. Okay, first disaster of the day. I cannot find my circular polarizer, and I can only think that it is, I have left it somewhere back in the van. Well, I decided to go back to the van and see if I could find my circular polarizer and also swap out my D7ii Z6ii for my Z7ii, which I have done. Sadly, I have not been able to find my circular polarizer, and I can only assume that it must have fallen off at some point when I was shooting with it. Sadly, that does mean that for the remainder of this trip, I'm not going to have a polarizer. Polarization is one of those things you just absolutely cannot replicate in any way in post-production. It's got to be done in the field. And so, you know, I can apply all kinds of virtual ND filters on my in my post-processing in Lightroom or in Photoshop, particularly with the modern Z series of cameras with 16-bit images. You've got so much scope to do that because you've got the dynamic range. But yes, I have no way of replicating that in post, so I'm just going to have to suck it up, do the best I can on this trip without one. Right, I'm just going to check my composition here. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Look what I have just found in my top pocket. Polarizer. No way. No way. Ah, joy. Oh, what a wally. Right. Let's take a look at this. See, that's quite nice. I like these green rocks in the foreground. I also like the more intimate close-up shot up there, so I'm going to do a bit of both. Okay, so I'm going to do one with this lovely, lush, green, mossy stuff in the foreground, and then one shooting through a little gap in the tree there. I'm just going to see if I can get over here. It's a little landing. I might try here as well. Right, I have left the D300 because I think I've got enough of comparison shots for now. Well, I better clean this filter up. It's had my mucky fingers all over it. If you're interested on finding out more about cleaning lenses and filters and what I use, I've just done a video on that. And although at the time of speaking it's not there, but it will be. And I'm just going to show you, I'll do a little bit of video on here, the difference that this polarizing filter makes in this situation is huge. So effectively there's no polarizer on at the moment, and that's up to the maximum effect. And in this situation, because there's so much white water, I really want to take a lot of that glare off, pretty much all of it in fact, as far as I can, and just leave the white water rather than the glare. So at some point over the last 24 hours, I made a decision to switch from coastal photography back to woodland and waterfalls. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One, I want to do an overnight camp and up on the moors, and it's quite a way away. Tonight is the best night to do it compared to the following night. So that meant moving away from the coast, but also these conditions are just right for shooting rivers and waterfalls as opposed to the coast. And because we've got this flat light, which is great in terms of the capturing these waterfalls, and not so great when it comes to other coastal photography. I was really struggling at Porlock, if I'm honest. I think I maybe got one decent shot there, maybe two. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps things up for the East Lynn Valley shoot. I hope you've got something out of it. I hope you enjoy some of the pictures. I'm going to head up onto the moors now. I'm going to find another waterfall, and we'll see if there's anything new that I can discover there, or anything new that I can bring to you guys to help you when it comes to your photography. Meantime, thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.
I have sustained you. Without me, all is dust. Through fire and fury of molten